on the road, taking on teams allowing less than 67 points per contest. Meanwhile, Maryland is 4-1 to the over, taking on teams averaging more than 72 points per contest on their side of things. So with all that in mind, I'm going to lean toward the home team in this matchup here. Give me Maryland in the pick'em, winning this one outright. And the over 141 in that matchup there. All right, next game, LSU at Kentucky, 7 o'clock tip-off at Kentucky. The Wildcats are -9, totals 149. 51% of the consensus is leaning toward Kentucky. Now, the Wildcats have covered in their last 8 straight. Incredibly hot when it comes to the number. 8-0 against the spread in their last 8. They're also 8-1 against the spread, taking on teams over 650. The Wildcats rank 3rd in the nation in home defensive rebounding, and they're 3-0 against the spread in their couple of games at the current point spread. So once again, Kentucky ranks 3rd in home defensive rebounding, and they're 3-0 ATS in their games that tipped off at the current number. Now the Tigers of LSU, completely different story on the other side. They failed to cover in their last 7 straight when taking on teams allowing less than 67 points per contest. You heard that right. 0-7 ATS versus teams allowing less than 67 points per contest. The Tigers are also just 3-7 against the number after 4 or less days off. Now when it comes to the total, the Tigers are 8-2 to the over in that same category. 8-2 to the over after 4 or less days off. They're also 86% to the over, taking on teams allowing less than 67 points per contest. The Wildcats of Kentucky, on the other side, they're scoring 81 points per contest on their home court. Give me Kentucky -9 in the over 149 in that matchup there. All right, next and final game for our college slate. It is going to be Michigan State at Wisconsin, 7 o'clock Badgers. This one's a good old-fashioned pick-em contest as well. Got some competitive lines here on a Tuesday night. Total open 131 and a half down to 131 even. So once again, Sparty is a pick-em. Total open 131 and a half down to 131 even. And 51% are leaning Wisconsin in this matchup here. Now, if you like the Badgers at home, they are 10-2 straight up on their home court. They've successfully covered the number in 6 out of their last 7. The Badgers rank 2nd in the nation in shooting the 3 ball at home. They also rank 7th in college basketball in points allowed. They're 2-0 against the spread in their couple of games that tipped off at the current number. Now, Michigan State on their side of things, they're 0-2 against the spread in their couple of games as the official road underdog. They failed to cover in 3 out of their last 4 ball games as well. Sparty gives up 72 points per contest when traveling this year. When it comes to the total, Sparty is 2-1 to the over in their last 3. Wisconsin 7-4 to the over in their games at home. Give me Wisconsin in the pick'em in the over 131 in that matchup there. All right, next and final slate for the show. It is going to be in the NHL. And we're going to start with the Blackhawks at the Bruins, 7 o'clock puck drop in Boston. The Bruins open the betting as the $1.95 favorite, and the total at 6.5. Now, since this one opened up, we're seeing steady money on Boston in the early going here. Nickel move when it comes to an outright winner. We're also seeing movement downward on the total. That moved down to an even 6. So once again, the Bruins open 195 up to -200. Total open 6.5 down to 6. Chicago's plus 165 for some money line cash. Boston plus 135 on the puck line. We have Delia projected in net for Boston. We have Tuukka Rask projected in net for Boston. As I always say, those are the early projections. It's 4 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so that could change by puck drop. NHL is not very transparent when it comes to roster changes, healthy scratches, late-minute things like that. So as of 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, Tuesday morning, Delia is the projected goalie in net for Chicago. Tuukka Rask, the projected goalie for Boston. And as always, don't piss me off today. All right, Chicago, 7-13 straight up, taking on teams over 550. Just incredibly struggling with good teams. Once again, winning just 7 out of 20 games straight up, taking on teams over 550. They're also winning just 36% of their games when catching plus money. The Blackhawks rank 30th in goals allowed in the NHL, and they're winning just 36% of their games at the current market price. Now, Boston is 4-1 straight up in their last 5, 67% at home. And when it comes to the scoring, Boston ranks 6th in home scoring. Chicago is 73% to the over when traveling. Give me the Bruins of Boston, -1.5, getting the job done on the puck line, and the over 6 goals in that matchup there. Next game, Capitals, Blue Jackets, 7 o'clock puck drop in Columbus, Ohio. Excuse me. Columbus opened the betting as the $1.50 favorite, total at 6. Now, we've seen a steady fade of Columbus in the early going here, a 10-cent fade of the Blue Jackets after this one opened up. We're also seeing movement upward on the total when it comes to the spread. Right now, Columbus is -140, total 6.5. So once again, the Blue Jackets open 150, down to -140, total open 6, up to 6.5. Washington's plus 120 for some money line cash. Once again, Washington's plus 120 for some money line cash. Columbus plus 195, laying the goal and a half. Now we have Braden Holtby projected in net for Washington. We have Sergei Bobrovsky projected in net for Columbus. And when it comes to this Columbus team, they're taking on a Wizards. I always say Wizards. They're taking on a Capitals squad who's winning 75% of their games at the current market price. Once again, Washington's winning 75% of their games played at the current market price, at the current money line odds. They're also winning 67% of their games, taking on teams allowing more than 2.9 goals per contest. Now, Columbus, they rank 27th in goals allowed at home. They've also dropped 5 out of their last 8 straight up. Now, when it comes to the total, Columbus is 4-2 to the over in their last 6. Washington 6-2 to the over in their last 8 themselves. Give me Washington plus 120 as the road dog in the over 6.5 goals in that matchup there. All right, next and final game for the show. It is going to be Philadelphia at Minnesota. That is a 8 o'clock puck drop at the Wild. Minnesota opened the betting as the $1.55 favorite. Total open 5.5. And since that one opened up, we're seeing a nickel fade of the Wild at home here. We're also seeing movement upward on the total. Right now, Minnesota's -150 with a total moving upward to an even 6. So once again, Minnesota open 155 down to -150. Total open 5.5 up to 6. Philadelphia's plus 130 on the money line. Minnesota plus 180 laying the goal and a half. We have Stolarz projected in net for Philadelphia. We have Dubnyk projected in net for Minnesota. Once again, those are just the projected starters. Things normally change by puck drop. I would have to imagine that Stolarz will not be the starter for Philadelphia. But regardless, Minnesota is winning 63% of their games at the current market price. They're ranked 10th in the NHL in goals allowed. Meanwhile, Philadelphia is winning just 30% of their games when Stolarz makes the start. They're also winning just 40% of their games when traveling, and 16% of their games played at the current market price. Once again, Philadelphia winning just 16% of their games that were played at the current money line odds. I'm going to lean Minnesota -150 in the over 6 goals in that matchup there. All right, folks, that is going to do it for me. But before I get out of here, I just want to quickly remind you once again to check me out at patreon.com/BrockPage. And once again, with a documented record of 10-2 in my last 12 NBA plays on that website, you're certainly costing yourself some valuable information each and every day you're not subscribed. Memberships begin at just $1.99 per month. There's also plenty of free content there as well. So once again, please feel free to just hit that pause button right now. Open up your browser. All you got to do is type in patreon.com/BrockPage. It'll only take a couple of seconds. The link is in the description section below. And if you are a current patron of mine and you're currently watching me right now, I simply cannot thank you enough. You most certainly make it all worth it. And most importantly, thank you for watching today's program. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free information. And as always, don't forget to check me out at patreon.com/BrockPage.